Welcome to Unit 14 of IDT 3600. In this unit, you are going to be creating your second lesson plan. This is a technology-based multi-application lesson plan. You need to use the EdTPA guidelines. And what you're going to do is students are going to research a topic and then present or display their knowledge using the technology that we have seen throughout the semester. So there are three parts to this assignment. There is the lesson plan, there is a handout, and there's also a student sample. So for the lesson plan, students need to use technology two ways. They need to learn about the topic and then present the topic, both of which require a technology in order to do that. So they're not looking in textbooks to learn, they're not listening to the teacher teach to learn. It is based on technology, and you can use anything that we have covered, whether it be software application, website, mobile app, Web 2.0 tool, or an interactive activity. Remember, for your EdTPA lesson plan, there are 9 headings that you must address, and the one that's going to take the most time, of course, is procedures and timeline. When you do the procedures for the lessons, you'll chunk it into time blocks, and also you need to have what the procedures for the teacher is and the procedures for the student is. Second part is the handout. Handout is a great way to do two things. One, it's a quick formative evaluation, a way in which you can check in with students and make sure they are understanding the topic, they are getting the facts and concepts they need in order to present the information. It's a good way to help them keep on task, and it's a good way for you to evaluate how your students are doing and enable you to see whether you need to maybe adjust what's going on based on how they are completing this evaluation. And it could be a checklist, a quiz, a matching activity, or some other activity. The third part is the completed student work sample. So it is what they will be presenting. And this could be something you've already created, a comic, the graphic organizer, podcast, video, prezi, or it can be something new that you create for this assignment. Finally, I wanted to mention a couple of podcasts that I thought were really interesting and especially pertinent if you are teaching from the end of elementary school all the way through middle and high school. The one is this Fresh Air podcast about the science of the teenage brain. This is really fascinating, as we know that adolescence, pre-adolescence, all the way through your third decade, the brain is still growing and developing. And this gives a really interesting insight into how pre-adolescent, adolescent, young adult processes information, how they understand information, and how it's very different to how adults process information. Really interesting, and I think it gives a really good insight when we have students in the classroom and we're teaching them and we're asking them to understand, synthesize, and analyze information. There's certain ways that are more effective than others when we ask this of our students because of the way that their brain is still growing and developing. And then This American Life, this looks at middle school in particular, and it looks at a social, emotional perspective on students, and I think this also gives an insight into student relationships, how they understand themselves, who they are in a social setting, and I think this is really insightful too. As always, if you have any questions, you should post in discussions or you can email your instructor. And of course, good luck!